Today on the Novice Cook Food Channel, we are going to be making a staple in Haitian cuisine. Any Haitian cook will tell you that the EPIS, or the Haitian marinade that they use, is the key ingredient to the distinct flavor that our cuisine has. Now, you're going to see the ingredients are not very exotic. However, they do make a difference in the final product. I have some substitutes to the recipe for some people who do not like or cannot find these Maggie cubes. You can use adobo. Now, instead of using, for each cube of Maggie that you would use, you will use 1 teaspoon of adobo all-purpose seasoning. I use the one without pepper because I don't want to have pepper if I didn't want to add it in the initial recipe. We're going to use 6 ounces of garlic. We're going to have a quarter cup of vegetable oil. And the rest of your ingredients here are your celery. We got some green onions, Italian flat leaf parsley, some shallots, the green and red bell pepper. Here we have the delicious habanero chilies. We're only going to use one of these. They are extremely hot, but I'll show you a little key to demystifying that. And we will blend this all up in our handy dandy blender, and your EPIS will be complete. Now this part is where we have all of our ingredients here. This is our EPIS. It has been diced. I've cut everything into smaller pieces so it can go through the blender properly. And we've got a quarter cup of oil here. I usually put the oil in first just to kind of have some like base on the inside of the blender. So there goes our quarter cup. Some people use more, some people use less. Now another ingredient that many people also add into their marinade is onions. But because I have shallots and I have the green onions, I don't feel that it's necessary to add the actual yellow onion, but you can do so if you wish. At this point, we take all of these ingredients and you'll see them blended, and the final product will be what we'll be using. Now, I have a life hack for you at the end of the video, so be sure to watch the very end of the video so you can see how I store my EPIS. A lot of people store their EPIS in the refrigerator, but I use a different technique. Stay tuned to see how that works. All right, well, this is the EPIS before it's totally complete. You'll notice that there are still some chunks in there. You've got to make sure that you run it on the pulse where you get it kind of blended in, but then you want to make sure you liquefy it because you need this to not have these big chunks, you know, these leaf chunks and bell pepper pieces. So you want to make sure that you get it down to as liquid as you can be. Now, this is a big jar of EPIS that I make because I cook often, and Haitian food, most of the recipes require some kind of EPIS to be added into it, any kind of meat dishes that you're doing, and any kind of rices that have beans or any kind of peas. So you're always going to be using this. So I always make a good sized jar, and I put it in a little container like this. And you write what it is so people don't throw it away, because I've had this happen before. So always make sure that you properly label your EPIS jar. This is the life hack that I was telling you about. I have a jar of EPIS here that I made. However, I actually always transfer my EPIS into ice cube trays, and then I freeze them, and it makes it so much easier. Each individual cube is exactly 2 tablespoons of EPIS. So if you watch here, you'll see how amazing this comes out. I got 2 tablespoons of EPIS for each individual tray, ice cube. And it comes out absolutely perfect. So when you store this, you can store it in the freezer and it lasts so much longer. My EPIS usually lasts about anywhere from 3 to 5 months. But if you don't cook as often, you don't have to make as much, but you can always freeze it. And once you're done, freezing it, you just put a date on the actual canister that you use. And that way, I always put them in those freezer bags, those Ziploc freezer bags, and put a date on top. And that way, I always know how old my EPIS is, when I made it, and how long I can use it for. Some people use them up to a year. I just think that after, a couple months, the flavor just isn't the same for me. I start tasting ice or something. But, if you like it, I love it. Now, this is our final product. We have the EPIS. We've put them in ice cube trays, and this is what they look like afterwards. They're individual cubes that are 2 tablespoon measures. That way you can always look. Little hint for people who learned to cook from their mothers like I did. My mother never measured anything, so everything was basically taste, taste, taste. So when I created this channel, I wanted to do something different where I measure so that I can help other people who don't have that taste, who don't know what to taste for, So you have the help. This helps you to measure your EPIS, and I hope this helps you in your Haitian cuisine journey.